Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and the Survival Series. So, in the last episode, just at the end I said I was going to sell 3 loads of logs on this trailer, and I have done that. So I've been chopping down a few trees, just a few this direction, but mainly what I did was I decided to go from where the entrance is over here, and kind of go and eat into this side, just a little bit, not too much, because I think we can use a bit of that space there, and then as we go again in the direction of what I've been doing here, which is placing the fence. I was thinking calling it a gate then, but no, the fence is kind of directing me, and what I will do is eventually probably turn left and we'll head in this direction a little bit more and kind of just try and map it out so we don't leave it sparse on the sides. We want to try and still feel like we're building within some form of woodland area. I think that's just make it look better in the long run when we've built everything we need to build. Yeah, and I think it's better than just having an open side to it, so we don't want to go too far in, so I thought going that way into this woodland area will work out better in the long run. So this is the 4th load, but I've kind of overfilled this one, tried to get everything into it, and I had to be really clever, and as it was dropping, quickly strap it down. But the problem is the hurleyman is struggling with this load. It's just not, for some reason it's got too much weight on the rear and it's lifting the hurleyman up. You can probably just tell them wheels are a bit off the ground, so I did purchase a front weight. I think this one suits the hurleyman. It's not too powerful, not like the one that we've got on the back of the John Deere, but it's still doing nothing, so we're going to have to probably swap out this and use the John Deere, because I'm hoping if we put the front weight on that it'll work better. Now there is a few things we want to do in this episode. The main thing we're going to be doing at the end of this episode is that we're going to do the silage. But there's a few things I want to get as well to make our life easier on that. I've kind of got into the spirit of spending money. So even though we're at 32,000, I was saying, yeah, we're going to get that harvester. I now want something else. So we're going to try and buy that as well. We do need to upgrade the windrow, and then we can set that going. But one thing I do want to do as well is get the field fertilised that we've got the soybeans in. So if I drive over it with the hurleyman, with the John Deere, or even with the Porsche, I'm going to do crop damage, so I need to get some narrow tyres on it and do the fertilising. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get some narrow tyres on this hurleyman. I don't know if it gives me the option. I think I've definitely got narrow tyres for the John Deere, but it might be a good idea as well to get it for the hurleyman. So let's go see if we can do that quickly, and we can get this field fertilised. Won't take too long at all, and then we'll move over to sorting out the last load of logs, getting that sold, and then we can get the equipment we need and crack on with the grass work. So let's just quickly see if I can customise this and get some narrow tyres. I can, and it's £1,000, and it's nice to have the option. I think we've got this option on the John Deere, so you could say just use the John Deere, but I kind of want to use the John Deere for a few other things, and yeah, this is going to make more sense. So let's just get this now. We can always have the 2 options then of having basically both tractors with different setups, so we can have narrow tyres on both, or just the normal size. So at least we know this is going to work now. It looks really strange. I mean, they are very narrow tyres. I think it would, if it was boggy land, it would sink in, just pierce through. Right, so just drop it just in front of the Porsche. We're going to have to move the Porsche out of the way. I have unhitched, but it is full of ferts, so we don't have to worry about filling it up. Got about half a big bag left. There we go, that's that. Move that out of the way, should be fine. And then that herbicide that I bought was like 2,500. It's just going to sit there now for ages. So let's hope at some point it'll come in handy. I mean, when precision farming comes out, you never know. We might get a chance to use it then, but we'll see. Right, so narrow tyres it is. Let's see now if everything's working as it should. We shouldn't do any crop damage at all, which we're not. So let's go around here and put a layer of fertiliser down. And you can see, you can just faintly make it out. It's quite difficult, but you can faintly make out that the ground is getting a little bit darker in texture. So I'm thinking whether to use the GPS system that I've got, I could do, but I think we might be able to just make out this going around. It is a little bit tricky, especially when we need to do the next layer. I think we'll definitely have to use it then. But I mean, it's not the biggest size field. I would like to get a bigger field. I think that's something that we should probably look at doing soon within the area that we're now making a clearing. I mean, we could probably, in fact, do a small potato field. I mean, potatoes are good income, or sugar beets. It is different equipment, though, that's going to be needed, but I mean, that would look really good, having a potato field within the woods, even if it's just a small one. And we could have that in comparison with this one. Maybe do some grain types in this, or normal crop, let's say. A bit of straw maybe, or soybeans, or even just any type of crop really, corn. But if we had a small one just for root crops, I think that'd be good as well. And there is some small equipment for root crops that's pretty suited to the style tractors that I've got currently on this series. And also, they aren't too dear. I mean, it's the harvesters and the really big equipment that's when you start forking the money out. But there is a good starter's point, let's call it, or a starter set that can ease you into it. But it does take a lot of work, especially if you're doing a big field. But if we try and do a small field, I think we should be alright. So there we go. I've done the first headland. So let me just check to see that that's all working spot on. And yeah, you can see that that's working fine. So I'll crack on. I'll get this done and I'll cut back in when it's got the first layer of fertilizer on the ground. And then we can continue with the other jobs that we've got to do. Right, so this is the last little bit. I have decided to use the GPS that I'm currently using on this series, and yeah, it's did help out in the end. So let's just have a quick look to confirm, and there we go, job done. So we've got the first layer of fertilizer on the field, which is going to help quite a bit when it comes to yield. So I'm just going to drop this off quickly because we will need this again, so I'll leave it by the field. And let's go and just change the tyres back to the standard size. I am interested to see as well if precision farming within FS22, when it comes to soybeans, is going to be the same on than what it was in FS19, because it didn't need fertilizer, so I wonder if that'll change. Right, so let's just do this and then we can move on to sorting out the John Deere. So let's customize this again, back to standard. Don't want to pay any money obviously, and put that front weight back on, lift her up, job done. She's alright for fuel, we don't need to worry about that. I do like this tractor though, I have to say, happy with this purchase. Right, so ooh, it feels really strange now having normal sized tyres. So the John Deere, this is what we're after. So let's just quickly drop off the front loader kit, put it in the bush, why not? So that there, like that. I don't know how I'm obviously swung off when it how strange. There we go. That was weird. And then let's just lower down that on hitch, and we can't put a front weight on because it hasn't got an attachment, but I'm just hoping that this, it seems like it's a heavier tractor, a more beefy tractor, so I'm hoping by attaching to this, I mean that is better, that's definitely better, it's more suited to the John Deere and it's more load on the logging trailer. I'm going to have to remove that tree as well at some point. Right, so let's go take this and we'll see if we can get some good cash, because like I said, I did load this one up quite a bit. I was getting probably around 5,000, sometimes I got a bit like 6 or 7 depending on what I put on. Maybe I'm expecting around 7 for this load, to be honest. This is probably the most I've taken up. It is definitely, probably, yeah, I'd say that I've overloaded this one. But we'll see if we can get up the hill first, I guess. So we got past the worst part. We're at the part where we do pick up a little bit of speed. So I was around 2-3 miles an hour going up that hill bit. And then this bit, yeah, 5 or 6 is pretty good going, and it'll start to ease out soon. Now, I have found that when I'm around here with a load of logs, it can tip, because it's technically, look at the angle it's on. Now, we're just going to have to slow down, because there's a part coming up where really I am asking for it to tip, basically. So if it does, I'll have to do what I did last time, which is I used a bit of super strength to fix that problem, because I was completely on my side. And it's this part here. It really doesn't like it, so I just try and go as slow as possible. I'm alright now. There you go. Job done. Right, so let's swing this round. We'll drop it here. That should be fine. And we'll see what we get. 6,700. It does fluctuate, I'm sure of it, because I'm sure that that was probably the most I've taken. But I did get up to like 7 or 8. Well, close to 8 in fact on one of the trips I've done, and that's the 4th one now that I've taken. Right, so I've dropped the trailer off, the logging trailer. We're now sitting at 38,000, which is pretty good going. And before we start off doing the silage in the bunker, we're going to upgrade 2 pieces of kit. The first one's going to be this. So even though I really like this pickup, and we haven't had it that long, we've only used it once technically, there is something really good I want to swap it for. It is an upgrade, it really is. But to do that, we're going to try and generate a little bit of money, because we don't want to take so much of a hit. So we're going to sell this, and we're also going to sell the windrow. Now, the windrow itself is pretty small, it really is. And the one that I'm going for is actually cheaper than what I'm going to sell this for, but it's a little bit bigger. So it makes sense to do it, and it just means that the hit I'm going to take on buying the new, let's say, loading wagon isn't going to be so bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use auto drive to help me out here a bit, because I need 2 vehicles to do this. We're going to send this up to the shop, and we're going to use the hurleyman to take the windrow up. And then it will make our life a lot easier doing silage in the future, which is going to be something that we're going to do every time now. We're definitely not going to mess about when it comes to silage. We're going to keep doing it, because it earns such a high amount of money that it's a no-brainer. So we'll keep that like that. I also need to do some hay as well at some point, because the sheep, or the sheeps now, it's not just Sean, they do need to get a good amount of hay. Not too much, but you know, if we did a couple of bales, or maybe 3 or 4 or something like that, that'd be fine. But I need to obviously wait for the grass to grow back, and then I can do some tedding and just do a couple of bales, put them to one side, and that'll do the job. We've only got a couple of sheep anyway, it's not really that much of a problem. But I mean, even if we mowed this area here, it would probably be enough. But we may as well make enough to sell at the same time. We could just cut this whole field again, and while the grass is in the bunker fermenting, we can do some hay bales to sell. And that makes sense. Whoa! Well, there you go then. Should probably dock his wage for that. What are you doing? What are you doing? To be honest, it's a nightmare when you try to take that over anything that you can climb with on the floor. If it's just a little bump, that doesn't pick up. Like, even though it should, it just doesn't. So either way, it's a bit of a nightmare. So let's jump into this, and we'll do the rest ourselves. We're going to obviously reverse it into that area there. Hopefully we won't collide like we just witnessed. And we'll do the same with the windrow in a second. Now, we aren't going to need both tractors when it comes to hauling back this equipment. So we may as well send the John Deere back. What's going on here? Let's see if I move forward until witness it then. I nearly sold the John Deere then. I really did. So that's interesting. I wonder why it won't let me sell this. Maybe it's not in the right spot. I imagine it is, but let me just see if I can move it and see if that helps. Right, so that's not working, so what we're just going to have to do is sell it within our shop. It'll probably take a little bit less here by doing it, but 8,133 isn't too bad. So let's sell that. Job done. And then finally, we just need to do the windrow. But let's quickly just send back the John Deere to give it a bit of a head start. So we'll just go home, job done. There we go. There we go. Let's hope this one sells. There we go, it's there, right at the top. So we want to sell this, where is that? There we go, for £4,166, which has brought us up to 50k, which is really good in fact. Unfortunately, we're going to spend quite a lot of that now. We really are. Let's just turn that off, save a bit of fuel, and we will... She's stayed. She's actually stayed. It's finally happened. She's comfortable with our presence, so it's nice to see. There we go. So I'm just gonna... What? It's completely... Yeah, look, she stays. I haven't updated the map or anything as well, so I think what's happened is I've bought that many things now. She's thinking, yeah, he's worth sticking around for. So we'll take that as a win. That's a first in the series. Anyway, so we need to now buy these items. So let's go and have a look at the windrow that I wanted, which is here. And we're going to go for this one. This Massey Ferguson, £2,000 hay rake, 4 meters. A little bit more than what we had. I think we had 3.4, but obviously you can see the difference in price. And yeah, 4 meters. I mean, what I'd probably like to get is this one here, this Cavernland, 14,000. It is 7 meters. It's pretty big, but it's just too much money. When you can buy one of these for £2,000, yeah, it's a no-brainer. So Massey or Vicon? Let's go Massey. Why not? In fact, we're not going Massey because that's 1,500. We're not going to do that. We're going to go Vicon. There we go. Job done. And finally, this is the one that's going to cost quite a bit of money. It's this. Look at this. It's a Butcher TRL 2600 or 2600. And it's a pickup wagon. And I absolutely love this thing. I really do. I think it'll suit this series down to a T. Only issue is it's 27,500. So it is quite expensive. We don't want any beacons, and we don't really care about where the number plate's placed. In fact, I'd probably prefer it there. Room colour, I mean, for the extra cash, it doesn't really matter again. Now, the one thing I have done with this is I've upped the volume that it holds. Now, it's just too small. For this thing, it was just too small, so I've put it to around 20,000. I think that's probably about fair for what it is. And with it costing so much as well, yeah, I wanted it that much that I was willing to adjust the volume that it holds. So let's get it. 27,500. I have been waiting for this to come on offer, but it just didn't, and I think now's the time to buy it. And there we go. Both items. Look at it. It's a little beast. It really is. It's no bigger than our tractor. Look at the size of this. And it's going to do the job spot on. So all we need to do now is send the hurleyman back with this. Just hitch to that quickly. There we go. And then what we'll do is, that's already got to home, so that's pretty good. Just trying to think where to send this to. Grass fields, that's where we want to go, because we can just start the job. And then what we're going to do is have a look at this bad boy. Nice custom sounds. Can't go wrong with that. It's got lights that you'd want, and you don't have access to this land. I was going to tip it, but you can't. Yeah, this is it. This bad boy. Dead slow. 11 miles an hour. But look at it. It's our own little tiny pickup wagon that we don't need to hitch up. It's just all in one. So we'll get back. I'll get the new rake doing its job. We'll get some windrows, some rows done. and we'll start picking up with this. Can't wait to see this in action. I feel like I'm in a milk truck. Right, so I've set the courseplay up. I've started him off from the first waypoint, and it's just about here, so we should see him going. And any moment now, because obviously it is only 11 miles an hour, it's definitely on its way. The forage wagon, it's probably right in the distance, but it's definitely on its way. But yeah, there you go. So we can crack on pretty much now. I've started him doing 2 headland passes. He's going to start on the headlands and then obviously do the inside rows straight after. But I'll just sit here, probably have a little tea break while we wait for the new loading wagon to get here. Right, so a bit of an update. We've swapped out the windrow. The original windrow that I got was causing me a few issues. It's obviously a little bit buggy. It was causing me to have like wide collisions basically as it was going around within courseplay. So I just decided to get this. So it was 14,000, like nearly 15 grand for this. But it's worth it. It's a much better windrow. I've done it as a courseplay just to test it out, and that worked to treats, and all we need to do now is pick it up. But unfortunately, I'm now down to around 8,000. So money has taken a hit. But then again, we have upgraded. We've got a nice pickup, and we've also got a good windrow. And we are going to be doing a lot of grass silage, so it is technically a good investment. So let's just quickly jump over to the, there we go, into this bad boy. Now, I have to say that not only have I edited the volume that this holds, which I told you earlier on in the video, I've actually just jumped out and edited the working speed because it was just tremendously slow. Now, I've not increased it massively, it's not too bad. I've put it to around 9 miles an hour. So, still, you know, it's not going to be the fastest thing, but it's just a lot quicker than what it was before. Because I do like this, and I want it to work really well, so I thought it was worth modifying it just to make it a little bit better when it comes to picking it up, and also how much it holds, because we have got quite a big grass field as well, so this is gonna it's gonna pick up a few trips in all fairness. So let's just test it out on here. There we go, it's 9 miles an hour now, perfectly fine, working a treat, and we should get a good amount from this field. Now I have picked up one full load, 21,000 I think it is. Probably should help if I turn it on. Let's try that again. There we go, we're on, we're rocking and rolling. So yeah, it's picked up, like I said, 20,000 litres already. We already had about 15,000 within the bunker, so we should have about 35 now. And with us working a little bit quicker on the work speed, this is going to be easy to do. And as you can see, we're already at 4,000. So I'm going to do probably another 4, 5, maybe 6 trips, something like that, I'm guessing here. I mean, really just to depend how much we've ended up getting. But we have maximised, so it should be a good yield. And also, it actually picks up really well. But it's the pickup underneath, it doesn't miss bits. It's quite a wide pickup, which is a lifesaver. It really is. So we're obviously nearly at the second load here, 50%, nearly at the 10,000 mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do a bit of a montage, but obviously I'm not going to be using courseplay now, it's going to be just me. So hopefully it'll still look pretty good, but we'll crack on and try and get this bunker as full as possible. Right, so welcome back. Hopefully you've just enjoyed that montage. Now, we've picked up quite a lot of silage. It still needs compacting and flattening out, and I do need to tidy up this end as well as the other end where obviously we drive in and out of the pit and it kind of drags it out. So I will be doing that probably in between this episode and the next, just because it's going to take some time to do that. I will need to use the bucket on this and put it in. But overall, let's just have a look at the amount that we got off that one cut. So we're sitting at 190,000 litres basically. 15,000 of that was already in the pit. So I think that's not too bad going. I mean, we could probably fit more in, thinking about it. If we flatten this out, I could fit more in. Obviously not the same amount that we've just put in, but we could definitely fit a little bit more in. But overall, this is going to be some good money. It's not going to be probably as much as you think, because I'm playing on hard difficulty, and I've worked out that it's around probably £35,000 if we sell this at the best time. So if we put more in, we might be able to get it up to 40, 45 if we're lucky. But it's obviously good money, and I mean, 45,000, that's pretty much a brand new shed for us, a really good one, a couple of sheds, or even, you know, the harvester that we're looking for. So it is definitely worth doing this, and just to keep continually doing it is the ideal thing to do. I think as well, until we get bigger equipment, like I'm talking a proper tractor, a really powerful one, and maybe a conveyor belt, stuff like that, I still think bales are the best way to do this. Silage bales are so much easier just to collect, and I will be manually loading them on no matter what I do, just because I am trying to play survival, and I think auto load might be a little bit too easy if we're just doing silage bales with auto load. I don't mind using auto load for the pallets and things like that if we get to that point, but if I am making silage bales, I think I need to make sure that I use some kind of manual loader for that. But overall, pretty good episode. We've done obviously a lot of chaff. We got a lot of chaff in the bunker. I do need to tidy up, like I mentioned, and I will get to that. But again, pretty good going. We'll be doing some logging again in between this episode and the next, just to get some money back into the bank account. Yeah, we'll see what we need to do with this field. We might do maybe a quarter of it again and pick it up and put it in here before we sheet this up, or we might just do the whole thing as hay, because I do want to do some hay bales from that next cut that we're going to get on the grass field. And then we need to obviously probably do some fertilizer as well at some point in the field with the soybeans. And I think overall then we're pretty much set again for another harvest, and let's see where our money's at the end. But we do need to make sure we buy that harvester as well. But I am going to leave the video there, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, because that really does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.